Before I get into it, I just want to say that I kind of messed up. I like watching camera thrifting videos. You get to briefly live vicariously through somebody else if they find something good or unique. So that's the kind of video that I was setting out to try and make. The last couple months since I found that F80 back there, I've been trying to repeat the process. It's been 2 months and I've found absolutely nothing. Also just got back from Japan where I had a pretty long list of gear that I was keeping an eye out for. And I think I went to like 12 or 15 shops over the span of 2 weeks and I didn't see anything that was priced better or even on par with what you would find on eBay. So I came back a little bit disappointed that I didn't find anything good. And the first couple of days back, I hit up my local thrift shop, found surprisingly 4 cameras, and on top of which that particular thrift shop has never had cameras, but I keep checking it anyways. Turned out they were all pretty trash. But the next day I went to another thrift shop that's just a little bit further and happens to be the same one where I found the F80. And this is where I messed up. I was super eager to go inside and I forgot to pull out my phone and film some B-roll clips. So I have zero footage of me finding this camera. And that was a little bit extra painful because this camera is also extremely nostalgic for me. So what I have here is a Pentax PC35 AF, and it had a price tag of 14.75 Canadian on it. So I absolutely had to pick this up. Obviously, I did check the camera out quick in the store, just to make sure that there was a camera in the box, but I wanted to save the main unboxing for you guys, and we'll do it on camera together. I forgot to mention why it's actually nostalgic for me. And that's because this is the same camera that my father used on almost all of my family vacations. So this model camera photographed most of my childhood. And I think the last time that it came on a family vacation was back when I was like 10 years old, and the camera smashed on Space Mountain because my father had it hanging around his neck. We took a big turn and it flew out and smashed the side of the roller coaster, and that was the end of that camera. I think you might still have it, but I've got this one, and let's check it out together. Inside the box, we've got the 2 manuals. In Canada, you always get 2 manuals. There's a French and an English one. Warranty card for Pentax Canada. Was never sent. Wonder if I could send it now. Get a brand new warranty on this. NICD batteries cannot be used. So it has to be alkaline. Battery status check. After opening the lens protector, the battery status can be checked by covering the meter cell with the hand as illustrated and partially depressing the shutter release button. The orange indicator will glow. All right. Wow. The strap looks like it's never been used. Now this looks like some kind of a power winder and trigger. It's kind of cool. Whoever owned this, maybe. I don't even think they ever used this. Okay, this is the star of the show. It's got a little bit of use on it, but it's mostly immaculate. I don't know if any of you have ever owned this camera or seen it before, but one thing that I remember being extremely satisfying was opening the front cover. That springs with so much force. That's cool. It's a point and shoot with manual ISO settings. See, from 25 to 400, I guess you can't go higher than that. Okay, so that's funny. I mean, I guess that's a feature. The flash doesn't pop out unless you open it first. Okay, I say to start, let's put some batteries in this thing and make sure it fires. Because if it doesn't, then it's just a nice little decorative shelf piece for me. Got some AAAs here. Which way did they go? Positive down that side, positive up on this side. I already forgot how to battery check. Oh, we got something. battery's working. Oh, that's cool. Okay, this is gonna be impossible to show you guys. I'll try. But inside the viewfinder, there's like a line. Oh, maybe in the manual I can show you guys what that focusing guide looks like. Yeah, right there. So yeah, when you look through the viewfinder, this little line, where the 4 is, moves like a light meter normally would. But instead of showing you your light reading, it shows you your autofocus points as your different distances, and you can half press the shutter and lock the focus in place and then recompose and take your shot, which is a pretty cool feature for a point and shoot camera. There's also, where was the other thing I saw? There's also exposure compensation, which is really cool. So on the top of the camera, you have this little backlight button that'll add 1.5 stops to your exposure. So you would press that down as you take your picture, and that would help compensate and give a better exposure if your subject was backlit. Also, if you didn't notice already, this camera has a pretty fast lens, fast specifically for a point and shoot camera, because typically you'll see them as like a f3.5, or sometimes even I've seen some that have like f4 lenses at the widest. And this camera comes with a 35mm f2.8, which kind of puts it on par with cameras like the Contax T2 or the T3, which have like a 38 and a 35mm f2 lens. Also, I believe some of the Ricoh models, the GR1, the GRV, as well as like Olympus MJUs, which are pretty popular. But, you know, all of those cameras that I named have a bit of a cult following that has allowed them to command a very high price tag, whereas this camera doesn't really have a kind of fan following around it. And honestly, I don't know why it doesn't. So that's all looking like it's working. Does the shutter go? I don't know if you guys saw that on the camera, but it looks like it's in working order. Doesn't feel like there's film in here though. Sometimes when you pick up a camera at a thrift shop, they still have film in it. But yeah, this one feels pretty empty. Let's take a look. You know what? I'll do this under the table just in case there is film in it. No. All right. Oof. I'll have to fix the light seals on there before I do any shooting with this camera. This piece is really dried up and crumbling. So that'll be the first thing I do, and maybe I'll do a video on that, because why not? I'm gonna have to do it anyways. Might as well film it. I'm optimistic. I think I'm gonna change the light seals in this camera, and I think it's gonna work perfectly fine. It's in such good shape, and doesn't look like it's ever been smashed against the side of Space Mountain, or any other roller coaster for that matter. It's so satisfying opening and closing that. I could do that all day. That's a really cool find. Super happy with this one. I can already tell I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this camera. Love the size of it too. Oh, let me compare this to the Canon, the little Canon point and shoot I got. This is the Canon SureShot Telemax. It's also known as the Autoboy Mini T, or the Prima. I can't remember the other name for it. It basically, in North America, Japan, and Europe, it had a different model name. It's something that Canon really loved to do with their cameras, was switch up the models for the region just to make them unique or make them appeal to different audiences. But this is the North American version, I believe. And this camera has been my point and shoot camera for the last 2 years now. Has not really let me down, except for the one time that the battery died on me halfway through a roll, and I thought the camera had died, but I realized that it's just there's no battery indicator on this thing. So I had no way of knowing that that was the problem, and I was out shooting, and all of a sudden the shutter wouldn't go. But getting sidetracked, I just wanted to compare this camera with the Pentax, because they're very similar. I mean, Pentax is maybe like a touch slimmer here, but then the bump that pops out over the camera is a little bit wider. No, the Canon is still definitely wider. Pick this up if you can, because you can often find these pretty cheap, and they're great. Yeah, I gotta change the light seal on this thing ASAP, because I really want to go shoot this. Man, I keep getting super lucky that even though I'm not finding a lot of cameras, I'm getting lucky in finding quality cameras. This is crazy that it came with all this stuff, just like the Nikon did, just like the Nikon did. And yeah, whoever owns this camera obviously didn't use it that much. So I'm going to make up for that. This is going to be my new, if it works, this will be my new daily carry. By the way, if you wanted to see some of my film photography or some of my photography in general, you can go give me a follow on Instagram at Brian Wilcat. And I do have a dedicated film Instagram at Silver and Halides. If you made it to the end of this video, you might as well subscribe. But I would encourage you to subscribe anyways if you want to see me put a roll of film through this camera, because I'm very excited to do that. And as usual, I will share all the shots that I get from it, the good and the bad. Turns out my father did still have his camera, although I don't think he ever got around to getting it repaired. It's a little bit more banged up than the one that I found at the thrift shop, but yeah, it's definitely missing a couple screws or something. I'm going to see if I can get this one working, and if I can, that would be pretty cool.